Okay, here's the wildflower bed. As you can see, we removed all of the branches to keep the kitty cats out now, and you don't want to let your flowers get too much over 2 inches or so, 3 inches, before you start removing those sticks, because they can start damaging the plants, when they start entangling with each other. So on to the next part of the garden. Pardon my neighbor's idea of lawn. He threw out this artificial lawn here a few weeks ago, but and there's some little wildflowers. I'm not quite certain what they are. They might actually be from up in the front bed. A bird might have brought them back here. So and a dead oleander stump that I need to dig out. That'll probably be a fall project. It's already getting a little bit late to try to dig stuff out, and I still have a lot of digging to do for garden. The feathery acacias are doing really nice. Still don't see any bumblebees or bees at all. I've seen 1 or 2 since the die-off, but they were more dealing with weeds, unfortunately, than stuff we would like them to be dealing with. But well, speak of the devil, a big old bumble. Actually, that's a carpenter bee. Let me see if I can. Hold on, I'll zoom in. There's a big old carpenter bee right there. He's doing his job. That's nice. Oh, Mr. Bee. Never mind us. We're just hanging around watching you do your job. That's so cool. Here's the nectarine. It's in full bloom. I hope that carpenter bee comes over here and pays it a visit. I don't think it's really seen much in the way of bees. Beautiful little flowers though. When this tree gets a little bit larger, it's going to be so beautiful in the spring. Here's the apricot. It's not quite budding out for flowers yet, but the foliage growth is fairly nice, and it's doing pretty well for a new plant in a pot. Apple tree is just starting to leafing at all, other than the leaves that were already on it when we stuck it in the pot. Its roots were really small. I probably would have liked to have trimmed back the stem a lot to let the roots catch up with the actual top growth, but with it being one of those 1-year warranty plants, I don't want to do any damage to it other than whatever naturally happens. Here's the peach. As you can see, the peach has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27 or 28 peaches developing on it. It's going to be nice. I'll point it out. I can't see the camera and point at the same time, but there's one right there, and one there, and one here. That's going to be a really nice crop if we get those to last all the way to harvest. There's my fig. It's doing good. Nowhere near as good as New England's gardener's fig trees. His is doing awesome considering they were indoors. What we got there, is that a little ant? Come here, boy. Don't chew on my leaves. Oops. Trying to get the ant. And I drop off a couple of buds off my nectarine. That's not cool. Anyway, the figs are doing nice. Wonder why the little pea ants are so interested in the fig tree. I don't really see them on any of the others. If you know, happen to know, give me a shout out in the comments below and tell me what I should do, if anything. Here's the blueberry plant. As you can see, all the red is gone from the leaves by putting some more vinegar in the water. I'm going to put some more vinegar in this week's water and try to keep it from the leaves from turning red until well, actually I'm going to permanently, but we'll put some more soil sulfur in it here in a few weeks, since it's been about 6 weeks since the last batch. See if we can get the soil itself to be more acidic. But until then, we'll keep putting some vinegar to keep the plant where it has acid available for doing whatever it is that it does with the acid. Quite a few little blueberries. It looks like a lot of them will turn into berries, which is good. I was a little worried about it since the bees were not around very much. The other blueberry, and it does not have quite as much berries on it as and flowers on it as the other bush did, but yeah, it might do okay. And here is the other two little misty blueberry plants that we picked up at the big box stores, and they're leafing out. Hopefully they grow pretty rapidly this year, so we can start receiving blueberries from them next year. And here's our little strawberry bare root transplants that the only one that we have is this one, and it's the only one that leafed out. All the others on all the other pods are like these, so I won't even bother videotaping them. They're just sitting in there dead, I guess. Here we have the raised bed that's next to the concrete pad we're using for the berries. And the tomatoes have recovered from those frosts and freezes and hail and everything, so these guys were pretty hardy. They certainly are stunted compared to plants that were not out in the frost. Now, hold on, I'm going to zoom up, pick you guys up. See the little birds up there making so much noise, talking to the chickens. Come on, give us some food. Now they shut up. They know I'm talking about them. Oh well. It was fun while it lasted. Alright, and here we have an alternate view of the main bed, the garden bed. Well, I'll zoom over there in just a minute. All the little radishes are doing pretty well. Tomato plants that were in here during the frost that survived are still stunted. The ones that we transplanted after the frost are all growing pretty nice, so they should be at the point with this week's fertilizer. They should be bolting up and getting to the point they're going to start flowering out here soon. There's two of the lavenders. They're looking nice. And then here is the little herb window box we were creating. The thyme is doing pretty well. The sage looks like it's getting more water than it needs in there, so we'll probably pull the sage out and put them in different planters. And then there's the dill. They're a little stunted compared to the dill in this other herb planter windowsill box. Hold on. As you can see, the dill in this planter box is doing awesome. Not quite certain, but it's stunting the growth of everything else around there. So I'm guessing dill, planted too close to dill, stunts its growth. And here we have a cherry tomato and some marigolds. They're both doing awesome in the pots. Here we've got the Roma tomato that I was thinking of transplanting, and I don't know, maybe I'll just leave it in there, it's doing so well. And then another lavender. Jeez, brain fart there for a second. And then here we have the last couple of tomatoes are up in there, and right about here is a little stunted but still living pepper plant. Sorry, I got distracted. There was a little lizard. I was trying to think if I could catch him, but to catch him on video, I mean. But he shot off. And then up in the front here we have some more radishes. These over here should be daikon radishes. Here we have the two twin sister beds, or three sister beds that I planted. They're doing really well. The pumpkins are leafing out. The corn is growing. I'm going to probably have to transplant the green beans that I was intending to transplant with these in another, like a string trellis or something, in order to get them into the ground, because I don't think the corn's growing quite fast enough to deal with the spurt of green bean growth. And I'll direct seed some green beans in this bed as soon as the corn's up a little bit higher. Here we have the sunflower seed bed. These are all mammoths. I'm going to plant some of the black oil sunflowers up a little bit. It looks like something's been eating a few of the leaves in there, probably the birds. So I'll fill those in with black sunflower seeds, black oil sunflower seeds. And oh boy, what a bunch of growth these have had. The collard greens are doing great. The snow peas are doing awesome. And then the bok choy are at the point that we probably can start harvesting leaves on them and making soup with them. So that's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. I'm gonna move the camera this way, and then as you can see, the soybeans that we planted over here are still doing good. Here's the little grapefruit tree, and it's doing pretty nice for considering the amount of damage that it took from frost and sunburn. But it's a pretty hardy plant, and is looking like it's about to start budding out for the flower buds. Maybe we'll get a grapefruit or two this year. It's still a really small plant though. Tree. Here we got the orange tree. It's doing awesome. It has a lot of buds on it, and the leaves have all pulled back out, and the dead leaves blew away, so it's doing great. And the lemon tree, I don't know, it don't look like it's going to stem out any new stems. I don't see any buds or anything popping out of it, and it looks like it's going ahead and drying up and dying off. It's sad, but that's what happens, especially with young plants. But as I've driven around, a lot of citrus was damaged in the freeze that we had, what, a month ago or a little over. So, well, you know, a lot of the other rest of the garden is doing great. So we'll just get another lemon tree, and life goes on. The strawberries continue to produce fruit. There's a couple right here. Those on the inside. And then there's one that's just nice and red, and another one about to form right here. And then there's a bud down on the one On the bottom one, it's a little tiny plant. And then we got another lavender. And then the, let's see if I get my finger there. Butternut squash are doing great. And the green beans are doing good. And the last of the tomatoes and peppers that we started are all doing great. And then on the top, a few unexpected sprouts from previous plants, and they both look like they're cucumbers, so that'll be nice. And as you can see, all the salad bowls and herbs we have on the little table are doing great. I came out here yesterday and grabbed a bunch of lettuce for the girls, and then a salad for myself. And these things, they just keep producing like mad. And this was without any fertilizer, so I can't even imagine what they would do with a little bit of nitrogen-based fertilizer. And then the mints are doing great. The basil that we've had, and the parsley and cilantro and rosemary, all are doing awesome.